Well, guys, it wasn't all great this week in the world of WWE. We've got some fails, and Jimmy, we're going to get started with you, and it sounds like you don't like Survivor Series anymore.
It's not that I don't like it. I'm going to try and explain this as concise as possible. But as someone who was there for the original Survivor Series, I was blessed to be able to referee in that first Jumping Bomb Angels. Remember them? Anyways, um, when it evolved into uh, brand versus brand, when you had the divide, SmackDown was created, and then they became separate entities, and talent became exclusive to each brand. There was that rivalry, brand versus brand, and that rivalry was very real in the locker room as well, because the SmackDown guys thought they weren't getting the just desserts, as they say. We weren't getting the recognition. We're a better brand than Raw, and the Raw guys were thinking they were better than SmackDown. Now it's become, at least for me, it feels more like it's a story about the problems between the teams on each brand, as opposed to
Yeah.
them wanting to fight each other and prove which brand is superior. And that goes even with the champions too. It's like we were saying, I kind of briefly mentioned it, Kevin, in our win segment. The champions are facing champions, but what's at stake here? You know what I mean? They're, at least give us some general managers on each brand to have a little bit of a stake in it. I love Adam Pearce as an authority figure, but put him in charge of a brand and then have someone else in charge of the other brand. That's all. It doesn't feel like it's brand versus brand, especially with the switching back and forth recently. And that's
The
what's
recent
going on.
draft, yeah. Hey, but how about that triple threat, though? I mean, I know there was dissension on Team Raw, but Sheamus, Keith Lee, and Braun Strowman, holy, what a hoss fight that was. I thought that was really well done. But yeah, immediately, the first thing is dissension amongst the ranks. And at the end of the match, shook hands, hugged. Okay, now we're going to be a team. Now let's see which team is better. And then again, they had dissension and it all fell apart. So, and they don't even have the final guy yet. Before, like you said, it was just, let's make teams. Why does it have to be Raw or SmackDown? Let's just make teams and make teams a month ago and do some vignettes and show the teams and camaraderie. And a team is a team. It doesn't have to be on a.
It's the way it used to be. They would name five guys, and weirdly, five guys against five guys, and each one of them had a person on the other team that they had a problem with. So there was already, and they're like, you know what? I don't like him either. And the teams would bond that way, and that's how you got teamwork and synergy. I loved that concept. I love that stuff. This stuff now, champion versus champion, while it's fun, there's clearly nothing at stake, and a lot of these matches are good guy against good guy or bad guy against bad guy. Only Sasha against Asuka is good guy against bad guy, and that's going to be a great match because they've had so many great matches in the past. But Bobby and Sammy, I hate them both. Roman and Randy, I hate them both. Like, who am I behind? Who do I want to see win any of these matches when I can't get behind either person?
Yeah,
or when I love both sides, like the New Day and the Street Profits. If I love those teams, who am I cheering for more?
Bingo.
I thought it was weird too that it's every single issue with the main Survivor Series teams is I want to be captain in professional team sports, let's call it. Hockey, then nobody fights to be the captain. You're appointed captain, and then people look up to the captain and respect the captain. Every single issue doesn't have to start with, I want to be the captain. No, I want to be the captain. No, I want to be the captain. Again, Jimmy, going back to what you said earlier, what does it mean to be the captain? Do you get extra money for it? Do you get extra prestige? Does Vince come and give you a personal handshake and say, great job, pal? After you
okay. Yeah,
I think that would actually make something that make it cooler. I guess I don't know.
Like you said, it's kind of like when I go back to the Undertaker documentary series, when it was said that Undertaker wasn't elected. He was chosen locker room leader by the locker room. He didn't say, "Hey, I'm the leader of the locker room." The locker room chose him, and that's how the leader of the team should be. Same, I guess.
I remember when I was a captain of Team Teddy versus Team Johnny. I have a blue shirt because I was representing SmackDown for that WrestleMania, and it does have a C on it.
Yeah, that's right. You're the
souvenir. Yeah. Got the C.
Kevin, your fail. Kevin, your fail. The Raw Women's Division.
Yeah, so this is kind of going back to touching on the rosters being kind of weird with trying to select a team and things kind of being awkward. There are a lot of great women on the Raw roster. Unfortunately, Becky Lynch is out right now and Charlotte's out right now. So those are two top tier talents in any division, in any company. Unfortunately, we're not seeing anybody elevated in this scenario to me. I'm not finding that anybody that's on that's on the Raw women's team is going to be elevated to a number one contender status after. And I feel like there's an opportunity to do so, particularly with someone whom I know we all enjoy, Shayna Baszler. I'd like to see Shayna Baszler, her be the unelected captain of this team, because she's so badass. She's a legit shoot fighter. She could legitimately beat the hell out of anyone, myself included, no problem. And she's right there in terms of superstardom to me. And let's also touch on the fact that for some reason, for a 7th week in a row, or I'm not sure if it's weeks in a row or a 7th table in a row, Lana has been put through a table again. You know, I get the kind of ha-ha to it, but at this point, it's becoming a little dry to me. Nug, I'm not sure if you're finding the comedy in it. I know that being the comedic genius you are, that you might.
I'll say there isn't any comedy.
Yeah, you know what? That was actually almost one of my fail, because I understand that possibly one day Lana's going to get over on Nia, and there's going to be this payoff. But the payoff even seems inconsequential. Who cares if Lana pins Nia one day? It's really okay. So Nia's fighting like super strong power moves, and Lana was doing like sissy slaps, and it really diminishes the perception of her ability and the right to be there in that division. Whatever they're doing, they don't seem to be going about it the right way. It's weird.
No, I get showing depth and range and character and stuff like that, but at the same time, when you have two of the baddest women on the planet doing comedy in a time when they should be just kicking butt and taking names, it doesn't resonate with me.
No, and I'll say it again. I don't want to see Shayna Baszler doing comedy. I want to see her doing magic tricks, because I know she can actually do magic tricks.
So you're saying Nia and Shayna could be Penn and Teller?
I'm on board if Nia never talks and Shayna does the magic.
There you go.
Also, shout out to
the setup, ladies and gentlemen. That's called the setup.
Shout out to my friends at Busted Open. Poor Lana. Anthony, your fail comes from last night, where the Hurt Business got a big win over the champions, the New Day.
Well, the reason it was my fail is because, I missed the part where they said non-title.
Oh.
And then when they won, I'm like, new champions, Hurt Business, the tag team champions. And then I'm like, why is no one saying this something? And all of a sudden it's like, non-title. What's the damn point of that? I remember when I was the Intercontinental Champion, I lost to U.S. Champion. Anyway, I lost to Cesaro in a non-title match, and I'm like, I don't deserve to be champion, I lost. Anyway, I know Jimmy hates non-title matches as well, and they don't make sense, and it took away the potential for an awesome moment last night that I was anticipating. So anyway.
No, I agree. I just don't like the idea of non-title matches. Like you said, to me, they don't make sense. If you are a champion, anytime you enter the ring, if you're a tag team champion if you're tag team champions and you enter the ring and face another tag team, the title should be on the line. If you're a singles champion, anytime you go into a singles match, the title should be on the line. I just don't buy into this non-title.
Has there ever been a non-title match with a champion in boxing?
That's a great point.
That's a good
There's been a few non-title baseball games.
Just a couple. It's interesting. It's interesting that the Hurt Business was talking about how we did something for WWE, so now we've chosen that we're going to go after the Raw tag team titles. And when you hear that, you think like they're getting a title shot immediately. And then we have a match on Raw against the tag champs. They're getting the title shot immediately. It's non-title. Well, then what are you being awarded here? You're being awarded a non-title match? That's
awarded an opportunity to prove yourself. And then Retribution shows up later on anyway, so they didn't really take care of Retribution, did they?
So, a bunch of things happened in that. Was when that match was over, being a non-title match, my wife looked at me and went, so what do they get? And I said, nothing. And she goes, well, then what was the point? She isn't wrong.
No, your wife's opinion is
Get
always
your hand
actually
raised.
She
very pure.
always nails it. And then secondly, she said last night when Retribution attacked Ricochet, she said, so they couldn't get the job done against the Hurt Business, 4 guys. So they're only attacking one guy, and he's much smaller than all of them. And I went, yeah, they're attacking the little guy because they couldn't get the job done. Not only does that make Retribution look stupid, it looks Ricochet look really terrible.
Yeah, they had to reevaluate and start somewhere else.
That's right. I'm going to get into my fail. It's real quick and it's real simple, guys. Let's talk about how the New Day is so important as a unit. Let's talk about how big a deal it is that they're separated, and let's always show the New Day tag team champions on Raw and then not have Big E on TV for 2 weeks. The only time the last 3 weeks Big E has showed up on television is on a screen in the Thunderdome cheering on the tag team on Raw. If Big E's going to be a big deal, put him on the damn show. The end.
I agree. Yeah, the whole idea with Big E going solo, in my opinion, was this is his time to shine, and I'm still waiting.
Exactly.
He big. He Big E.
He miss
Good point.
E-ing.
That's a really good point.
He's miss E-ing. Guys, what are your fails? Let us know on Twitter. Use the hashtag AskAftermath to send us any comments, questions, recipes you may have. And also tag Jimmy Corderas and everything so he can deal with you. But come back. We've got another segment. We're going to talk about Survivor Series, and then it's trivia time.
Yes. I always win.
Does.